What's up, people? Welcome to Friday Night Girls Gossip Night, where we just talk about whatever comes to your mind. This is your show. It's driven by you. Although I did get a couple of emails in from various people that we're going to start things off with. In general, though, on this kind of show, the show is about you and whatever's been on your mind for the last time, since the last time we got together, which was what, 2 weeks ago? So yeah, this is like a every couple of weeks thing. We just down together. No real topic, just kind of meandering around and just talking about stuff that bothers women, that women think about, that women have experienced, and whatever's on your mind. So let us get started, though. The first thing we're going to do, and I'll be putting up the numbers of people who want to call in and stuff later, but let me get through a couple of these things first. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is something I saw on the channel wall today. This young lad, let me see, how am I going to do this? This young lad, you see what he's got to say. I forgot. Oh, it was under the vid about, why white men try to play the victim role. That one. I don't know why he put it under that, because it really didn't have anything to do with that, but that's what he chose. So here it is. And he says, I have to read it because a lot of people are driving in commute traffic and they can't read. So he says, I'm not referring to this vid, but dating is really effed up. Girls don't date nice guys. They friend zone them and really run away when all he wants is love and he stays by your side. But girls get bored and go for the guy who stirs up her emotions. And soon nice guys also learn to do this as a way to get period. Don't just hate men. They are miserable wanting to know what a woman wants since women started being hard to get and playing the game. And the toxic guys know the game, and other games will be created to combat female games, and the whole pattern will just repeat. It seems to me that when women try to combat men's games, the player is just going to leave her hanging because he has options. And then she is going to feel hurt more, or she leaves dating and will never fall in love again. ... What do women really want? Not a nice guy like you always mention, because you're going to dump. So what did you guys have to say? Let me flip back to this first screen. He says girls get bored and he just wants love and he wants to stay by your side, but women get bored and go for the guy who stirs up her emotions. And I'm wondering why he thinks a woman wants to be with a man who does not stir her emotions. I mean, love is an emotion, sir, right? I mean, ladies, listen, if love is an emotion and, to fall in love, your emotions must be stirred. Basically, what dude is admitting is that nice guys don't know how to stir a woman's heart. Therefore, they don't get her to fall in love with them. And then pretty soon she does get bored because she doesn't want to just spend time with a man that she has no romantic interest in. And he's tying up all her time and looking at her all silly, and she knows she ain't feeling it. So she gets rid of him. That's the normal way that these things go. But these guys don't want to accept that part of their role in the lack of romantic attraction for the woman. They feel like the woman is playing hard to get. No, she's not hard to get for the man that she's interested in. She's just not interested in you. And they don't understand that. So then they say toxic guys know the game, and other games will be created to combat female games, and the whole pattern will just repeat. First of all, women don't play those kind of, what women play games? Like, what I teach women what I teach women on this channel is how to combat male games. And it's like, you do. There's men have so many, centuries of advanced game playing knowledge over women. We're playing catch up. And the part that really men can't stand is that a lot of women are better at it now than you are. But you are the ones that created this nonsense. You was the one that was running through women. You was the ones lying to women, cheating on them, beating on them, just ripping them off of their money, saying that you loved them, but you really didn't because you just was after something else. Men started those games. Men did that. So what women are doing is just, serving you back what you gave them. And you can't stand it. You cannot stand that women are looking just as hard at you as you were at them, but they looking at how you treat them and how you going to benefit their life. And when you don't have any way to do that, then she has no interest in you. And that's just the way it is. I talked about that in a video clip that you can find on the channel. I put it up like last week or something. So let's see what some of the ladies got to say. What do the ladies have to say? Let me take this thing off the screen. Oh, this poor dude. He's just, but he's not the only one that feels like that. They be coming here crying about that all the time. Oh, you just watched the Woman King. My cousin was watching that when I was up there. What's up, DP? Yeah, I'm Ravania. I'm just, and Ash, I see you over there. I'm just like, what in the world is going on? Why do these men always feel like because they don't get chosen, that means women are not choosing nice guys? No, that's not it. You're thinking that you're a nice guy by women's standards. I mean, you might be to somebody, but the woman that you're going after, you're not to her. She doesn't want you. And it doesn't matter whether you're nice or whatever you deem yourself to be. She's not interested in you. You don't do it for her. Okay. You might be ugly, short, fat, dumpy. I mean, too skinny, too broke, fucked up teeth. I mean, I don't know what the problem is, but whatever it is, the woman that you're interested in is not interested back. So don't take it as she's not interested in nice guys and making her fault. She's just not interested in you. And the fact that you show up in her life and in her face thinking that, that you deserve a shot or something. I don't know. These dudes be tripping like women are EEOC or something and everybody gets an equal opportunity chance or something. It doesn't work like that. Romantic attraction and interest in somebody and the willingness for a woman to exert her time and give you her time and energy and stuff in a romantic relationship has to be something that she wants to do, not because you want her to do it. That's the thing that you do, just don't seem to want to accept. No woman owes you crap. Okay. I don't care how nice you think you are. You could be the nicest thing to have wings and a halo. That still doesn't mean a woman is going to want to get busy with you and be your girlfriend or be your wife. It doesn't mean any of that because she's not attracted to you. She might be like me and like little devils. I'm like, the EEOC, Diane, everybody, everybody got to be treated the same. Everybody gets equal opportunity. No, it's not like that in a romantic world. And what dudes don't realize is, this thing they call romantic market value, the RMV. People are fall in different places on that scale. Like, if you're like exceptionally physically attractive, like for a woman, very beautiful. For a guy, nice built body and handsome face, chiseled jaw, dimples, all that kind of stuff, nice skin, nice teeth. All of those things kind of play together to make a person visually attractive. And if you're visually attractive, then people are more likely want to associate with you. They want to go to talk to you. Sometimes they get opportunities for jobs and stuff like that regular people that's kind of homely don't get. They'll get paid more money, especially if they're the face of something. They're doing sales work. Well, when the handsome guy shows up or the beautiful woman shows up, they're more likely to be seen and make a sale than somebody who comes in there looking like a 4x4. I'm just sorry. That's just the way that it is. People are very generally kind of shallow. So if that's what you use, that's what you're working with, and you're not physically that cute, what can you do to make up for it? And for men, they need to think realistically like that. You don't look that cute. What are you going to do to yourself to up your romantic value in the marketplace, in the singles market? What are you going to do? Stop whining, because that's definitely not sexy. No woman wants a man who's a whiner. Turn off. So you stop whining and get busy making a change in yourself, in your life, in your presentation, your job status, your educational level. Fix that grill. I mean, do something with yourself that a woman might be more interested in you. But the main thing you got to do is stop posting around on the internet, whining about women don't want nice guys. They do. They just don't want you. Okay? It don't have nothing to do with nice guys. It's all about you. I mean, I was just like, who raised this boy? Where your daddy at? Because he should have told you this. I shouldn't have to be telling you this. I'm just saying. I don't know what else to say. I just don't understand the belief that these guys have that they deserve the woman that they want or an attractive woman. It's like most of them, if you look at them dudes look in the mirror, they're at 5 at best. Okay, now if you stayed in your envelope and maybe didn't reach and stretch any higher than maybe a 6 lady, you probably could get some action. But in generally, what happens, they grow up looking at like, those airbrush magazine things, which I will not mention any names because I don't want, no drama here. Are they looking on, the only whatever pages, and they're trying to think that they should have a woman like that because they have a job and they graduated from high school and maybe they got a couple of years of college, maybe they even have a degree, and they have a car note, and they have they're paying their bills and their own rent or whatever. They might even have a little house, condo or something. Okay, those are like the basic accoutrements of adulthood, sir. That does not entitle you to anything from the opposite sex. It definitely ups your chances because, most women don't want to be with nobody who's broken, ain't doing nothing with himself. It ups your chances, but it does not entitle you to a woman, and it definitely doesn't entitle you to the one that you want. So, exactly, glassy eyes. Majority of folks is just average and are slightly below average, but that doesn't mean they're not nice people, and it doesn't mean they won't make a good husband or wife, but I'm just saying, got to put a little extra effort where somebody who's just stunning just walks into a room and dudes are like, shoo, and a fine dude walk into the room and the women's heads turn, so those kind of people don't really have to do too much to get attention. But if you're just on the scale of average or even slightly below average, you have to, put some work in. You have to think about your presentation, your conversation, how you think about things, how articulate you are, if you're witty and funny, if somebody wants to be around you because you have a, engaging personality. Most of these dudes don't have any kind of personality. They just perceive themselves as a nice guy, and they sit there. They're too shy to say anything to anybody. Their conversations are stupid. All they do is play video games or watch sports or something. They have nothing about them that would engage a woman's interest. And so if a woman, you can't even talk to her right, you don't have no conversation, then what is there to build on there? She says something, you say a little 1-2 word answer back. If she tries to engage you some more, then you give this 1 or 2 word answer back. Or worse yet, you say something stupid, disrespectful, all in her clothes or something like that. Then, she's turned off. And so now, even though in your mind, you're a good, nice guy, her perception of you is that you are a dork, a weasel, and just slimy. And she don't want nothing to do with you. Whereas in your mind, you still thinking, well, it wasn't that bad. I was just flirting with her. She just don't like nice guys. She just want to be with a player. But you don't forget the part that you said or did something that turned her off. You did that. And it doesn't matter if you're a nice guy or not. If you turn a woman off, she's done with you. So, I don't know. Yeah, the bell curve. That's a good analogy. Good one, glass eyes. That's a good one. But, I don't know. These dudes just really need to just reassess themselves, I think, starting with them with the whining. The whining online and your picture is right there, your name. Dad, you stop doing that. Okay, just stop. Get yourself together, sir. That's not going to work for you. Okay, so that was him. Now, let's talk about this right quick, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. This guy, Noam Shapancer, I guess it's called, he says these are the key points from his article. Point 1, research shows the increases in health, wealth, and happiness often associated with marriage are disproportionately experienced by men. Point 2, roughly 2/3 of divorces are initiated by women. And point 3, a study found that the tendency for women to initiate breakups is inherent specifically to marriages, not all male-female relationships, which I think we can justify that, and we know that's the truth by looking at what comes through the advice column, right? Those girls are single. They just have boyfriends, and they just do not want to let go. Whereas, I think by the time a woman marries a man, this is my own thought. Y'all welcome to put yours in. Why do you think that is? That the women initiate breakups more in a marriage than they do in other relationships? He says the tendency for women to initiate breakups is inherent specifically to marriages, but not all male female relationships. I think that was an interesting point that he made. And I think that it may have something to do with this. This is just my perspective. Y'all welcome to have a different one. By the time a woman commits to marrying a man, her expectations of his behavior and his treatment of her and the life they're going to live together are different than she would have for a mere boyfriend. She's expecting you to come through like Johnny Rocket. And if you fall down, if you fail, if you disappoint her continuously, if you don't live up to her dream of the man that she thought she was marrying, she is likely to divorce you and go and find someone else who will meet that dream. That I think is the difference in why, because when you're just dating somebody, you in the back of your mind feel like, well, they could change. It could be different later, this and that, because you're not married. Once she says, I do, and you become, quote, husband and wife, the bar elevates for you, sir. And if you don't meet her expectations, you can bet that she's going to divorce you. What she may have thought was okay when you was a mere boyfriend is not going to work when you're the husband. When you're the husband, you have a lot more responsibility and you have a lot higher expectations of you because socially, religious wise, socially, morally, emotionally, a husband is a far deeper commitment to a woman than just a mere boyfriend. So her expectations of you, I repeat, are going to be a lot higher. If you don't meet them, if you fall down on the job, if you disappoint her, you lie to her, you start being stupid and emotionally abusive, you start corner cutting and cheating on her, all of those things are going to impact her a lot more than they would if you were a mere boyfriend because you've taken vows. Her expectation was to be with you and happy with you for the rest of her life. And you have broken those dreams and just shattered them. So yeah, she's going to leave you. She's going to get a divorce and she's going to go continue her search for a man who she thinks can make her dream come true. What do you guys think? You think it's true? I mean, I was thinking about this, while I was making the slides. And it's like, that is a really interesting point that I've never heard before. And then I started thinking, I wonder why that is. And that was the only thing I could come up with. Do y'all have any ideas? Any thoughts on that? Do you think I'm barking up the wrong tree, or is that, the right? Are you in agreement with that? That your expectations of your man are higher when you're his wife than they are when you just a girlfriend? That's what I thought. Because, I mean, for me, like, if you didn't meet some high standards, I wouldn't have married you. So if you met these high standards before, and now all of a sudden you start falling off and stuff changes up and it's different, and the dream that I thought I was going to have may come true with you starts going up in smoke, I'm out. Boop. And I think a lot of dudes don't think about that. They just feel like, well, once we get married, we should stay married. No, we should not. If I know what you but not do anything, you can talk to you all kind of wild ways. And I'm saying anything. Women don't do that. It's the days of the old when women didn't have any other options. Now she bringing her own money in. She got her own credit. She got places to go. She has options. She does not have to stay with you and be treated miserably and be unhappy just to stay married. That doesn't. And I think that's not really explained to men. That's not explained to men that the expectations of a husband are higher. Maybe it is if they get the premarital counseling and stuff that might come across, but I don't know. I've never known anybody that actually got it. So I've never had a chance to really talk to anybody. Well, what did they say to you? What did they do? What did y'all talk about? Okay, yeah. Yeah, consistent. That's a good, yeah, that's exactly it. Consistency. But the way you started is the way you got to finish, my brothers. You start changing up the game on her if you feel like you got her, it's all bad, especially if you hurt her deeply, like you start messing around while she's pregnant. She's never going to love you the same. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. She might stay there for the sake of the children or what, because she's scared to leave right now, or she's figured out what to do. But the hurt that you have put into her heart when she's carrying your child, the man she loved, and you did that to her, you can forget it. You can hang it up. And I think a lot of dudes, they don't think about that. They be on them sites and sliding into people's DMs and doing all kind of stuff, that's just hurtful to their wife. And then she finds out, and of course she doesn't feel the same about him anymore. I mean, he feels like, well, I apologize. I said I wouldn't do it anymore. It's too late. You've shattered her trust. You've dug a hole in her heart. You shattered her dreams about how you were just a perfect man. All that went up in smoke. You can never get that back. Once you screw up your marriage like that, you can never get that back. So eventually, I mean, it might not happen till a couple of years down the road, but she will leave you. You can bet that. They don't get it. They just don't get it. And they just feel like, well, it was only one time. I don't care if it was half a time. It still happened and you knew you shouldn't have been doing it. You did something that you selfishly wanted to do for yourself with absolutely no regard for your wife's feelings, your children's feelings, your parents' feelings. You didn't give a shit. All you cared about was yourself. And so when your woman leaves you, don't be getting online complaining, she took my house and the kids and she took all my money. It wasn't, you was married, honey. It was half hers anyway. So don't stop tripping. But, that's what you get. You shouldn't act as stupid. You were selfish. And so you only thought about yourself. You ruined your marriage. You hurt your wife. You broke your kid's heart. Your parents are discussing with you everything because you couldn't keep it in your pants. Or you started being, vicious and violent or something. Or you started getting some kind of weird dependency. Anything, whatever you did, it destroyed the dream. And so once the dream is destroyed, there's no point in her staying with you. That's why women leave marriages. So let's see what this man has to say, though, because he says how how marriage is promoted to women with bride magazines and rings and all this other stuff. And it says men are often depicted as commitment phobic, having to be conned or whipped into marriage or dragged to the altar against their deeply promiscuous nature, which abhors long-term monogamy. And so then he says, we've been led to believe that marriage is a natural habitat for women, but a stifling cage for men. This is the popular fantasy. However, in the real world of data, things shake up quite a bit differently. This is important, so y'all listen, because you can have this information when you be online and them dudes start talking about how marriage benefits women. You have the facts from a research study, because they always want data, right? They always want facts. So you're going to have it. This guy's name is right there, so you can save that so you can find this article and read the study yourself. Marriage tends to benefit men more than it does women. Research has shown that the marriage benefits, the increases in health, wealth, and happiness that are often associated with the status go disproportionately to men. Married men are better off than single men. Married women, on the other hand, are not better off than single women. Second, in contrast to the myth that marriage is a woman's ultimate and sacred fulfillment, is the reality that roughly 2/3 of divorces are initiated by women. This is true not only for the young and hip, but a recent AARP study, that you got to be 50 before you get into AARP, of 1,147 men and women aged 40 to 79 who experienced a divorce in their 40s, 50s, or 60s, found that 66% of women said they initiated the split. New research suggests that there's something unique in marriage, other than the traits of getting along day to day with another person, that may make it less hospitable to women. A recent paper by Stanford sociologist Michael Rosenfeld analyzed longitudinal data from the How Couples Meet and Stay Together survey, a survey of nationally represented sample of 2,262 adults in heterosexual relations, followed from 2009 to early 2015. So that's quite a while. The results revealed an intriguing pattern. As expected, women initiated roughly 2/3, about 69% of the breakups in hetero marriages. However, the gendered trend in relationship breakups held only for marriages and not for other non-marital unions. Moreover, women in marriages but not in other relationships reported lower levels of satisfaction. According to Rosenfeld, these data suggest that the tendency for women to initiate breakups is not an inherent feature of male-female relationships. Rather, it is a feature of male-female marriage. This finding appeared to provide support for the notion that women experience the institution of marriage as oppressive, in large part because it emerged from and still carries the imprint of a system of female subjugation. So, when men talk about, well, all these women want to get, that's why I ask the young women. It's like, like people have been accusing me of saying, well, you're anti-marriage, you're anti-relationship. That's not the truth. What I am is anti-stupid marriage and anti-stupid relationship. So I always ask women, okay, you say you want to get married. Why? Why do you want to get married? And they get all like, start clutching their pearls and getting all this upset and stuff. Like, it's like I'm saying something that's so horrible. And it's like, I'm not trying to, say that you shouldn't get married. What I'm saying is that you need to know why you want to. What is it you expect that you're going to get from this union? Who is this guy that you would be choosing to marry? Why did you choose him? What are your expectations? Who told you that marriage is something that you should see? Why do you want to be married? What is the perceived benefit that you think you're going to get from being married that you don't already have or can't get some other way? You put all of that together, and then most of the women come to the conclusion that, well, I guess I don't really need to be married because I can be happy doing this, that, this, and that, and fulfill whatever needs for companionship or intimacy or whatever, fun or whatever I want to have in other ways. You don't have to be married. Now, if you want to, that's fine. And you go through this little exercise and you figure out, yes, nobody put this in my head. This is something that I think it would benefit me based on my personality, my life goals. If you think about this and you think this through and you come to that kind of answer, conclusion, honestly and thoughtfully, then fine, go ahead with it. But that's not the case with most women. They just grow up thinking, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to get married and have kids. No, think again. So let me get this. This is the number in. Like, if you have something that you want to say, you click that link. It's a computer-based telephone system or whatever. So anyway, you call in and you get into the backstage here, and I can put you on live on the show. No cameras, audio only. And you can ask a question or you can make a statement about something that we have touched on tonight, or you can share your own thoughts about whatever it is bothering you this week. That's the whole point of this. What is on your mind? What you thinking about? What you thinking about? What's happening? What's happening? I don't know. I can say, he was great. He was a great guy, but I did not want to get married. It's the furthest thing from my mind. I just was not really interested. I would have been fine dating him forever. Because I didn't, it was okay, I guess, but you see, I ain't rushed into it again. I'm not like someone where they just go from man, husband to husband, husband, husband. I'm like, I'm cool. I'm not interested. I don't even want to date the same person too long. Because then they start getting expectations. And they start wanting to introduce you as their fiance and all that kind of stuff. No. I'd be like, bruh. For real, bruh. Let's see what she says. Here's a question here. I just happened to look up and see it. Why are women still being pressured to get married? Well, they're still being pressured to get married because people want women to be miserable. They want them to be, especially if they're married and they're unhappy, they're going to be really all on you to get in the trick bag with them. That's what that is. Just like they want you, like baby mamas be trusting you. Like, why don't you have no kids? You don't have no kids. It's like, no, I'm not trying to be stuck and stupid like you. I'm not trying to do that to myself. So it's the same, to me, it's the same thing. Now, because women who are happily married and who are confident in their situation, whatever, whether they're single, married, or whatever, they don't ask people that kind of question. They have confidence that you know what's best for you. They're not going to put any pressure on you to do anything except enjoy your life while you have it. So that's the difference. So you have a bunch of women around you, or men either, that are pressuring you. Why aren't you married? You should be married. Or they try to put you down because you're not married. Understand the game that is. There's a certain mentality that they want you to have about it, like chasing a dream. desperation, anxiety, a feeling of not being good enough, that kind of stuff. They want you to feel that way because it makes you more, less of it's a challenge, easier to victimize, easier to use, easier to game on because they're holding this marriage out like a carrot on a stick, like something that you have to jump through hoops to get. If you just look at this, say they start talking about marriage and you go, oh, they don't know what to do with that because you've escaped their little clutches and they have no power in your life. They know they can't yank your chain that way. So any woman who feels like she's being pressured to get married, just look at the person who's pressuring you and make an honest assessment, especially if they're married. Are they happy? Because I'm telling you, happy women don't be talking like that. I saw something that said question. Oh, here it is. I just told you, just ignore it. Because the main thing, like I said, is a lot of them just want you to be miserable like them. They hate the fact that you're single and free, can pick up and run off and do what you want to do, don't have to check in with nobody, don't have to cover for nobody, pick up after nobody. They can't stand it. They can't stand it. So they try to present it as a benefit and a perk, just like them dudes are like, well, you ain't married. So like your conversation, your thoughts and opinions don't matter because you're not, quote, married or not in a relationship. It's the same mentality. It's just the female version of it. It's like I just said, it's a way to put you down and try to make you feel bad about yourself so they can feel better about their nothingness. Happy people don't try to make other people miserable. They're just happy by themselves doing their thing and spreading happiness and joy to others. People putting pressure on you like that, understand they're trying to game on you. It's just a game. Don't fall for it. Yeah, they are jealous. See, Ash said it. That's what I was just alluding to. They're jealous that you're single. They're jealous you don't have a bunch of kids tying you down. They jealous you have money. They're jealous that you dress better than them because your money doesn't have to be split between a husband and some ragamuffin children. You can do what you want to do. You don't have to worry about a sitter. You don't have to be home at a certain time. You can go wherever you want to. You can stay gone for weeks if you choose to, and you got it like that at your job. There's a lot of envy there, y'all. You got to understand, like I keep saying, look at who's giving you these messages. Look at them and make your judgment accordingly. But never feel bad about who and what you are. That's part of having self-confidence and self-esteem. You like yourself just the way you are. Nobody else has to do it. Nobody else has to. Let's see what you say. Once I married myself, oh my God, my life improved, my skin improved, and I had more potentials to choose from. They always want you when you're taken. Well, yeah. Yeah, they do. They don't really want you, though. They just like the challenge of being able to best another man. It's like, what do they used to call it? Dueling in the olden days, where they would take 10 steps and then turn and fire. Same kind of thing. Men always want to be competing with other men over something. Okay, here's another question. You guys type question in front so I can see it. Is that at my name so it stands out because it's kind of hard to catch up. Why do so many married men cheat? I never got that. Girl, if we had the answer to that, well, let me just put it this way. There is really only one answer. There's one answer to that because they want to. I just want to. Whether they're single or, in a relationship and not married, they do it because they want to. That's what I was talking about in the earlier part of the show. They don't care about the woman's feelings and what they're doing to the relationship or vows they've taken. They don't care about how their children are going to be crushed. They don't care about anything. They only care about themselves. And if you have a situation like that and that's your husband and you realize that you married a clown, that's another reason why women get divorced. They don't want to be dealing with that. Plus, if you coming home with diseases and whatnot, I'm not trying to be bothered with all that. And some of the women are crazy that they cheat with. They want to show up at your house and fight you and, fight you over the man and all this other stuff here, recalling you and threatening you and stuff. I'm like, look, come over here, bring your car and bring me a couple of packages of hefty bags. I will pack his stuff up and help you load it in your car and you can take it over to your house. That's how little I'm interested in arguing with you about this clown. Okay? That would be me. Um, if he does it to excess, then yes. But to me, it's just like in the old days when they used to have Penthouse, Playboy, and Hustler magazines. It's the same thing. Men had a monthly subscription, and every month it would arrive a new, spread of half dressed women. I mean, to me, it's the same thing. The internet just makes it more accessible, so you get it 24/7, and you don't have to wait 30 days for the next magazine to be out. It just, whatever, just go to a new website. But to me, the mentality is the same. Um, but do you have to deal with it as a woman? Absolutely not. I remember when Playgirl magazine came out because Burt Reynolds was on the cover, and at the time he was a heartthrob, and women were going crazy. I was just a little kid, but I remember my aunts and all, they all had the magazine, right? And they was looking, and I think he had a hat, or I don't know, he had something covering up the meat. But other than that, he was butt naked. And so, and it was like the first time that somebody had come up with a magazine that catered to women's interest in looking at half-dressed men. And it was like the thing. Playgirl. Yeah, I think it's called Playgirl. And honey, that made a splash. And Burt Reynolds, I'll never forget, was on the cover. So, it just depends. It depends on you as a woman. If that kind of stuff bothers you, then you have every right to not be in a relationship with a man who enjoys doing that kind of stuff. Because I wanted to. Exactly. Because you wanted to. Here's the link if anybody wants to, be on the phone line. Oh, oops, there it is. It was a hat. Okay, I kind of imagined that it was a hat, but I wasn't real positive. It was so long ago. But honey, yes, I remember that. I wasn't supposed to be looking at it, but I was anyway. Little bad brat. So my auntie had a cup. I got it once. So me and my cousin, we sneaked in there and we looked at it. We're like, oh, you couldn't really see anything but his chest. I mean, my dad used to walk around in his pajama pants with no shirt, so it wasn't like I hadn't seen a adult male's chest before. But I mean, it was more an illusion than actual stuff. But now, they just take pictures of everything. They don't care what close-ups, all kind of stuff. There was a thing in the news with some girl. I think she was in Houston. She had a whole wedding ceremony and she married herself. They had like this whole big party and everything. I mean, she had like a wedding reception. And I think that was a bit much, but she was making a statement. She married herself. I don't know. So, this show is about y'all. What's on your mind? What is it that you've been thinking about? What kind of stuff has been bothering you? You have a question about it. You want to talk about it. You want to get everybody's feedback about it. This is that kind of show because, on advice shows, I'm the one doing all the talking. Y'all can't really say too much except in the chat. But let's talk about something else. I have more fodder. Okay, now this one. This is who sent this? Was this DP or Vonna? I don't remember. Anyway, one of them sent this in about men having fewer friends than ever and how it's harming their health. So one poll says the decline in male friends. A May 2021 poll themselves as having, quotes, no close friends, in quote, quadrupled over the last 30 years, increasing from 3% in 1990 to 15% in 2021. What's more, just 15% of men consider themselves as having 10 or more close friends, a steep drop from the 40% of men who reported such bromances in 1990. So with female relationships took a hit too, but men more than doubled. So that was just one study. Now here's the article. This is about how men have no friends. And it's like, what do you guys think is the reason? I want to get your input on that. Why don't men have more friends these days? I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they want to text and they have their faces in video games all the time. They don't really get out and do like activities. The stuff that young people like to do these days is, it's kind of solo, right? They do a lot of, solitary activities. So let me see what this article says. Yes, it's from Vox. Men have fewer friends than ever. It is harming their health. The male friendship recession is having dire consequences. So men, I don't know, they get on these groups and these websites and they hoorah each other and stuff and big up each other and commiserate about women, but that's not really a friend. That's not a buddy, someone to really talk to and share time with, laugh with, go do things, help change each other's oil and go fishing and hunting and whatever stuff men do. According to AEI Survey Center on American Life and Gallup, the percentage of men with at least 6 close friends fell by half between 1990 and 2021. Fell by half. That's a lot. 1 in 5 single men say they have no close friendships. What would that do to a man's mentality if he has no close friendships? Y'all put your thoughts into there. He has no close friendships at all. What's going to happen to him mentally, emotionally, psychologically? He's going to be all kinds of effed up. That's what. Because friends, I think, help keep you balanced. Like you say something stupid or you want to do something dumb, your friends be like, man, what you doing? And your friends will bring you back to reality. Your friends will help you be a better person through conversation, motivation, encouragement. No wonder you think that's one reason why so many young men are so lost. They can't do anything. They don't even have their relationship with their dads. And then now they don't have any friends either. Who are they learning manhood from then? Are they just trying to figure it out by themselves from these 5-letter groups? No wonder things are all jacked up for them. This was sad. This is something I've never thought of. So who was it, DP or Van? I don't know which one of y'all. I can't remember which one of you sent it to me, but I think it was Diana. This was good stuff. I mean, shocking. And then you think, and he says it's hurting men. It's hurting men. I can see how. Men have got to have relationships that are positive and growth-oriented relationships with other men. It's mandatory. They've got to have that. So they, balance themselves out. What's the age group of the men? They don't say in that one. I don't know. I didn't print the whole thing out. But in this one right here, this study, it's talking about middle-aged men specifically. And it says, your dad isn't the only middle-aged man without any close friends. So this one's talking about, men who are considered middle-aged. I'm looking to see what they consider middle-aged, though. What's middle age? I don't know. I would say 40, probably 40 to 55 in my mind is middle age, but that might not be what they're considering. I don't know. But the author of this says, I asked my dad who he considers his best friend. He paused to consider. Probably mom, he responded. It makes sense, though. My parents have been married for nearly 30 years, but if I ask my mom the same question, I'm almost certain she would not say her best friend is my dad. Maybe because she's got a dozen close friends to choose from, while my dad's list of close friends is dwindling. Well, yeah, you got to figure they start getting older. They start like falling off and croaking and stuff. I asked a few of my own friends if their dads have a best friend other than their spouse, and it turns out they don't. So why don't middle-aged men have close friends? So they're calling it the friendship recession. It says single men are suffering the most. Y'all single women, listen to this. Single men are suffering the most. 1 in 5 single American men report having no close friends, the survey found. Since 1990, female friendship numbers have also declined, but for men, the decrease has been far more dramatic. Then they talk about why men have um, a hard time making and keeping close friends. And the Stanford professor says that men begin to fall off during middle to late adulthood, per CNN, and the men who do maintain friendships with other men into middle age and beyond are having less emotional intimacy in their friendships than women do. Younger men are more likely to reject gender norms for masculinity, but only 4% of men over 65 say they have a feminine side. Interesting. We gender relationships as feminine. If that's a feminine thing, it becomes a weakness or a liability if men admit to needing friendships. It's really sad that they would think that. There are some guys who have been friends since they were little kids. They're more like brothers than they are, friends. But I think those relationships enrich a man's life. I hate to see so many young men who don't have that. But you look at how they don't have good social skills. I'll get you guys questions. Don't ask questions yet while I'm talking because I'm going to miss them. But let's talk about the benefits of having friends. So having close friends is good for your health, according to Healthline. A good friend is someone you can openly communicate with who offers mutual support, respects your boundaries, and accepts you for who you are. Key things that help build your confidence and self-esteem, young men. Here are a few ways that close friendships will benefit your health. Having close friends makes you happier. Friendships can improve longevity, happiness, and mental well-being. A friendship is good for your heart. A study found that having a life partner did not decrease the chances of coronary heart disease in middle-aged men, but having close friends did. Friends help you live longer. Older people with a lot of close friends are 22% less likely to die than those with a few friends. Oh, shit. Well, wow. That's it. I'm about to croak then. And that's the end of it. Yeah. So there you go. So for men, if you have a man, encourage him to develop some friendships. Sometimes it could be a neighbor, they just hang out together and drink beer and watch the game or something like that. I don't know, but men seem to need friends. And I think, women don't have a problem with meeting friends. I mean, I've made friends that, even as an adult, with jobs that I've had and stuff like that, people that you can hang out with and talk to and stuff. It's just interesting. Okay, so let's see. Let me put this in here again. Nobody wants to call in. That's fine. That's fine. You can just put your question in the chat, or you have something that you want to talk, some burning issue that's been driving you crazy. I'm gonna scroll up and see what I missed while I was running my mouth. I don't know, like my brother, man, he's got like a zillion friends. I mean, everybody likes that boy, but he's been like that since he was a little kid. He just walked down the street and people want to be his friend. He's just like that, just a really enjoyable person. Let's see, here's something. It's like, why do a marrying partner got caught cheating tell you that you can't do the same thing they did if you stay? Well, I mean, they can say whatever they want to say. Do they run you, or are you a vacuum cleaner? What? So that's what they say. Of course, they don't want to be cheated on. They just want to be the one doing the hurting. So, that's not, you do what you want to do. Because to me, once they do that, all bets are off. I mean, seriously, the relationship is really over. So whatever you do at that point is just, whatever, just water under the bridge. Because I feel like if you did that, that meant you didn't really give a shit about me. You didn't care about this relationship, and you made that quite clear. So since you didn't care, there's no point in having a relationship anymore. So I'm going to deuce out and I'm going to find me somebody new. Now, that's just how it is. So yeah, they'll say that, but do you listen? That's the key point. Do you listen? Or do you just laugh in their face? That's what I would do. I would not be bothered. Okay, I'm scrolling. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading without reading out loud. Do you see a correlation between the discovery of narcissism and relationships? After the realization of narcissism and narcissistic abuse from family, friends, and coworkers, It's hard. What's hard? I guess there's more to this than I don't know where it is. And I don't know what you mean by the discovery of narcissism. I mean, the behavior has always existed. They just put a new label on it. You know how this goes. Narcissistic abuse. Well, to me, 90% of the battle is recognized as for what it is. On this channel are videos about how to combat narcissism. Just go to the top of the channel and type in narcissism or narcissism probably be the best one. And then all the videos that discuss that topic will pop up, and then you could just start listening to them. As we talk about a lot of different narcissistic behaviors, and I talk about why they do those things, what they hope to gain from doing those things, how they manipulate you by doing those things, and then what you can do about it. So I don't just talk about it, I give you a solution. So that would be the way for you to deal with that. Your child's bus driver goes, he's older and in a relationship. That still didn't stop him from calling me intoxicated last week. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Ugh. Well, see, people like that with that kind of to violate those kind of boundaries should never be around children. And I'd be scared to tell the school that. You're afraid if he would violate a boundary with you as an adult, what would he do with those children? I would just allude to that. You don't have to have any facts, but the fact that he thinks it's okay to do that kind of stuff. See, to me, once you start crossing bridges, you're going to keep crossing them because it's fun to cross them. You cross one with somebody's kid, you're going to cross the wrong bridge with somebody's kid. And brother, you might not make it to see the sunrise because some of these parents like me are not wrapped too tight. So yeah, I would definitely do that. It don't matter if he's in a relationship. It's icky to do that to the parents of, like there's no other women in this world for you to go after. Oh, Lord. Oh, I've already talked about them. It's in the foreign brides videos. Just type foreign brides and look at, I'll talk about they behinds in that. And then actually I interviewed a lady whose mother was a foreign bride too, and she talked about it as well. So there's a couple of videos on the channel that talked about them. I don't call them passport bros. That's a phrase that just kind of started being used maybe last year or so, because these videos were made a couple of years ago. But the attitude hasn't changed. The attitude has not changed. Did I read it? I don't know. Seemed like we did talk about that. When we were talking about, I don't know, it was a few months back. I don't know. I mean, I can't remember, but I don't know if it said a specific amount. But if you have something that you want to share with me, just send it to me at survivingdating@gmail.com. And I'll take a look at it and see, if I recall it or not. Because Diana Prince and Vanna send me all kinds of stuff. So, some of it I can use and some of it I just kind of hold on to and use. Like it might be a year later, but they send me so much stuff. So I can't swear that I did. I can't swear that I didn't. So here's a question. It's hard to find quality people. Oh, okay. Well, yes, it is. But you know what? This is the advantage of growing up. This is, as you mature and go through life, you're going to meet people who are just messed up. I mean, and it just seems like the mental illness and emotional immaturity and the lack of emotional intelligence is like an epidemic. And it's just become even more prevalent since we were dealing with the global epidemic and everybody was shut in and, not really socialized and stuff. You got to see the mental illness and the emotional immaturity manifest itself all over the internet. So it was kind of, shocking to me. Because that was our only, real way to communicate other than a phone, because you couldn't really go anywhere. So, people were dealing with everybody online and you could just see the cray just coming out. The cray was just everywhere. So now, though, that you have been through all of that and you can identify those behaviors, you're going to be smarter and you're going to be wiser. You're going to handle yourself better. And so the things that happened to you before when you was a noob and you didn't know what was going on, those things will never happen to you again. I mean, you might experience new stuff, but I'm telling you, you go through these videos on here. There's one a series where I interviewed women that had dealt with narcs. I think it's like 12 or 15 videos of ladies telling their story about their relationships with a narcissist. You can listen to those too. They were very forthcoming. It was really good. Good series. See, Anna. Anna just refused to click that notification bell. That's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, you're welcome. But I really think that, the whole point about living is not to just keep doing the same thing over and over and over. The thing that makes people become wise and, develop wisdom is experience. You'll never get smart if you don't have some drama in your life. That's how you learn. Well, I don't want no more of that. And then you take that valuable lesson with you to the, next relationship, next job, next situation. So that's the key point, though, is you learn. You don't keep doing the same stupid thing over and over and over. Once you have something that's, this wasn't really working for you, then you make sure that you learn the valuable lesson and you put that to use and you don't never do that again. Why is the dating pool full? Not that good. Men are getting worse by the day, or has it always been like this? No, I think they are getting worse by the day. I think that our society has changed so much because the lack of respect for women and the violence towards women is just rampant. It's just unbelievable. That's why I get so upset at the advice letters that come in when young women are being bullied or intimidated or their boundaries violated left to right, and they don't stand up for themselves. They never even tell the dudes to stop. They don't say no. They don't say stop. They don't say, if you keep doing this, we're going to have a problem. And it's going to start with you getting fired from your job because you don't know how to act and treat people. They don't say anything. They just take it. And I think a lot of women are very afraid, but it's like my thing is this. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Because you know what? If you don't fight back, you just want to set yourself up and accept being a victim over and over and over. That's not going to work for you. That's going to affect your mental health. That's going to make you age faster. You're going to start having all kind of health problems because you're holding in that rage. It's not going to work. Get yourself together and start speaking up. There's all kind of videos on this channel about boundaries, saying no, finding your voice, having a spine. I mean, even every week in advice column, the same thing. So it's just mandatory. You've got to, they're like in February last year, the whole thing was about, self-confidence and self-esteem. So go and look at all them videos and get yourselves together here. Well, that's a deep question, Kimchi. What can you can start with, though? I can give you a quick tip. What fulfills you? What is it that you need to feel happy? What is it that's missing in your life? You know those answers to those questions? If you don't, that's where you need to start. If you do, then why are you doing things that are contrary to that? It's very simple. I don't do nothing that I don't want to do. It took me, years to arrive at that. And sometimes there's harsh repercussions for that. But it's a decision that I made. I'm going to live my life doing what the fuck I want to do, when I want to do it, the way I want to do it, and with whom I want to do it. I'm not going to let myself be pressured into anything. I'm very good about saying no and having good boundaries. I mean, that's like a wrap there. But, that's what I find. If you don't have good boundaries and you allow yourself to be pressured and taunted and manipulated into doing things that you don't really want to do, the rage that you feel, oh my God, and just put upon, and you just hate yourself for being stupid. So then you start wanting to slap yourself, and it's just awful. It's a bad scene all the way around. So I have determined probably 20 years ago or so, I'm not going to do anything I don't want to do anymore. I'm not going to let people talk to me any kind of crazy way. I'm not going to like it. I'm going to speak up and tell them about them. Well, I've always done that, but I'm just sharing this with you. You have to figure out what makes you fulfilled in your life, and then only do those things. And don't let anybody mess over your parade that walking, your kimchi parade, the life that you want to live. Don't let anybody mess it up for you. And that'll put you on, I think that'll put you on a good path to start. Okay, I'm scrolling down. I'm looking for. Okay, let's see. What did she say? I told him that it was inappropriate. He apologized. He seemed to think since I was single and child free by choice, I would take him on it. Oh, well, I missed the front part of that, but it sounded like it was some interesting dirt. Okay, I'm scrolling down. Wow, I missed a lot of stuff. She said I was going to binge watch the videos. Yes, Anna, that's a good idea. Take notes. I always suggest when young ladies are on a path to study something that's on this, say you want to study, I don't know, self-esteem. I probably have 50 videos that address that in one form or another. So you're going to be studying them, right? You're going to be taking notes, and there's going to be certain things that you hear that are going to really resonate with you. What you need to do, they're going to address certain things, challenges that you've been struggling with. What you want to do is take notes. You want to have, and I suggest every woman do this, like during Debbie, I always suggest everybody attend all the Debbie videos like a class, and bring your notebook and take notes, because all the speakers always had, brilliant things to say. And since all the shows were around a theme, if you had one notebook for the whole Debbie month, you would have a lot of valid and viable and helpful information all in one place. And then you could flip through it and, kind of refresh your mind and read it over and over and over until it sinks in. And then once it sinks in, you can start putting it into action. That was always my recommendation. So get you a nice little notebook and, 8.5 by 11 something, and then take notes from the videos about the stuff that resonates with you or that challenges you in some areas where you've been struggling. That's the best approach. Okay, here's the. Oh, God. See, I started reading. I forgot I'm supposed to be reading out loud. Is it best to question, ghost, or tell someone off if you suspect you're being played or breadcrumbed in a new romantic connection? Is it true? If you have to ask, you already know. Absolutely. See, this is the thing. 2 women. Thanks, Kimchi. Oh, look at you being all generous. Yeah, I think you do all right. Yeah, sliver. I mean, I always want to reverse those letters for you. Your intuition is telling you what's going on. You already know. Your deep knowing. The problem with most women, though, is we don't believe ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. So you start, well, maybe it was this. It's me. I'm too sensitive. Oh, maybe I misunderstood. Oh, well, you start putting those seeds of doubt in your mind instead of saying, I assess this correctly because I know what's best for me. I trust myself. He on some BS. I'm out. Boop. That's all you have to do. And if it's a new thing and you think that you suspect that you're being ghosted, I mean, being breadcrumbed or played or whatever, you don't owe that, but are you in a committed relationship? If so, then yeah, a good conversation is warranted. Like, you on some BS, so I'm out. That's all you have to say. But if it's something that, some casual thing, somebody you just met and you talked to them a couple of times, been out a couple of times, just block him and go on with your life. He knows he's on some BS. He's going to be expecting it. Don't even feel guilty. At the gym, which is better, cardio before weights or after, or cardio one day and weights another? This is the program I would put my clients on. Okay, you're going to do 10 to 15 minutes of cardio as a warm-up. Then you do your weights. Then you stretch. And then you go home. On cardio day, you do all cardio. Now you can mix it up. You can do a warm-up, weights, and then cardio after if you feel super energetic. Say you do 10-minute warm-up, you do a 20 or 30-minute weight routine, and you do another 20 or 30 minutes of cardio. You should be in and out of the gym, however you do it. You're in and out of there in an hour and 10 minutes at the most. You do not need to be at the gym for no 2 hours. I don't know why people do that to their bodies. It defeats the whole purpose. You get in there. So say you arrive at the gym, you hop on the bicycle, and it's noon. Okay, from noon to 12:15, you doing your warm up. You doing, or you doing a cross trainer, you doing your arms and stuff. So you hop off and you start your weight routine at 12:15 to 12:40. Then you jump on the cardio machine, and from 12:40 to 1, you do 20 minutes more of, more intense cardio. The last 5 minutes, you just do a cool down. That's good. If you get a little time to stretch, that would be the extra 10 minutes that I was talking about. That would be good, especially if you have to go and sit in your car to drive somewhere. Because, honey, by the time you start trying to move, when it's time to get out that car, you're going to be sad. You will be a sad sister. So that's my personal belief. An hour workout is enough. It's just the consistency. You got to do it regularly. What do you think about casually dating, making male friends and not taking it seriously? Is it a waste of time or is it a good time? It's nothing that's a waste of time if you're enjoying yourself. That dog is cute. If you having yourself a good time, girl, that's what life is all about. You single and free, you do what the fuck you want to do. Don't worry about them. You have friends, right? That's what men call it. Oh, I have friends. I have friends. Look at cutie Tay showing up all tardy. You tardy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a good one for ghosting. I used to do that before you even had a name. I just drop off into the sunset. My dad used to think it was horrible. It's like, why don't you just tell them boys that you don't want to see them no more? I said, because if I'm not calling you back, then when you call, I just don't want to be bothered because my brothers would answer the phone and say, oh, she ain't here. Because I told them if it's so-and-so, tell them I'm not here. Then that should tell you, what you need, a smoke signal, a carrier pigeon. What, you need some skywriting from a plane? What you need to know, what other than somebody not talking to you? That means they're avoiding you. That means they don't want to be bothered with you, okay? You dumb? What's going on here? I don't want to be, but that's what you do at the good gym. Good job, prime time. That's how you do it. Question. A friend of mine asked me to be her date for an event. I thought it would be fun, but it turns out she wanted someone to hold her bag and take her pictures. No, that's not what men have to go through. Wow. Hold her bag and take her pictures. Well, did you meet anybody else at the event? Did you make it work for you? That could have been something that, you do. You can't do that the whole time, and holding her bag, and what about yours? Who's holding yours? So you holding 2 bags? I would have set her shit down and went on about my business. Say, girl, you better pick up your bag and keep it with you like I'm keeping mine. But, sometimes those things provide an opportunity, Erica. You go and that $6 million man scope, and you see somebody who's kind of cute, and you meander on over there and say, hi, my name is Erica. What your name is? Where you been all my life? Girl, I have dated men as much as 12 years younger than me. I don't care. He's legal. But yeah, I just, I don't really, as long as we vibing, and I'm not trying to marry him, it's just for fun. I don't care. But they have to have some sense, be mature. Don't be like some goofy younger dude. That wouldn't work. But yeah, actually, all the men that I've dated, except for my husband, was younger than me. All of them. By 2 years to, like I said, as much as 12. Onyx, tardy. I'm going to start giving out tardy slips. Give some tardy slips to y'all. Okay, let me do another one. Let's do another one. Let us do, and I'm doing some more questions now. I mean, after this. This is the one word that women rather, need to say far more often than they do, and it is the word no. Why are women so afraid to say no? Stop. Leave me alone. Stop doing that. Don't you dare talk to me like that. We're not going to do that. No, I'm not going to go there with you. We're not, that's not acceptable behavior for me. Stop anything that is negates what men are talking about. Because it's like you had to learn how to. I watch a lot of Korean and Chinese movies, so you learn how to the little bits and pieces of language. So learn how to say no in Korean and Mandarin, and of course I already knew Spanish and English. And you have to say how to say it in you know how to say no in what's it called? Ebonically. Hell no, no. And so you have to learn how to say no in all these different languages. So, you never know who you're talking to and what's their home tongue, their mother tongue, what they speak at home. You got to learn how to say no to men in different languages so they can get it. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about, yes, nine niet in Russian, anyo, aneo in Korean. I mean, you just pick this stuff up. It's really interesting. I never thought I was much of a linguist, but certain things I guess I have picked up. I don't know why. But let's talk about this. So you're a woman and you think about this. Think about this, and you guys can put your comments in the chat room. When is the last time that you told somebody no? When is the last time you said no to somebody? And who was it? Type it in the chat. I'll have a sip of my wine while I wait. When was it? And who did you say it to? How long ago was it that you said no to somebody? Yesterday you said no to your ex. Good job. I'm not seeing a flood of answers here. You all got to think that hard. You can't remember the last time you told somebody no? You said it to your supervisor. Good. Right now we're answering the question, who did you say no to and when was it? On Monday? Okay. Well, that's not that long ago. My dog. So Natural say it's been a while. Oh, we got to work with Natural. You said no with some flavor. That's what I'm talking about. Nah, hell no. What I look like? No. You tripping? No. Okay. Yeah, I said no too. I was having a meeting with these people, right? Because they want me to do this newsletter for them. They, do all the layout and graphics and the photography and stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, this is my price. And they're like, okay, well, but we want this and we want this and we want to do that, this and that here. I said, nope, I'm not going to do that. And they looked at me shocked. This is over Zoom. They looked at me shocked like, well, why not? I said, because I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the layout and you're going to like what I do. I'm going to give you 3 options and you're going to pick one. That's how I work. You don't tell me what to put on the layout, because if you knew how to do that and you really understood what you needed to make this newsletter take off, you wouldn't have to pay me to do it for you. So we're gonna I'm listening to what you say you would like to have, and I'm just gonna tell you that the answer to that, all of those things that you just said, are no. And they was just looking at me, a bunch of white folks, and they just looking at me like, well, were flabbergasted. And so then, over the weeks, last week and a half. I came up with 3 layouts for them in, different colors with different cover designs and stuff. I mean, just different layouts because I use InDesign to do all of that. And so they were like, "Oh, these are beautiful." I'm like, "Well, we didn't really think it would look like this." I'm like, "I know, but that's why you're paying me instead of doing it yourself." And so there you go. But sometimes like, this is even business where they paying me. I still told them no. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna tell you no because I know what I'm not gonna do, and you're not gonna run me. Like I said, from my perspective, the rest of my life will be spent doing exactly what I want to do, not doing what I don't want to do. That's how I plan to live it. I've been doing that for the last 5 years, I'd say. And it's worked. Like I said, it's not without, some problems, some bumps in the road and some repercussions. I mean, because sometimes it's stuff that I probably should do and I just decide I don't want to. And then there's a problem associated with it. But, I just deal with it because that's a decision that I make and I'm a grown woman. So I knew when I was made that decision that this was a possibility of a problem, but I decided to take the gamble, and sometimes I win and a couple of times I lost. But there we go. But it doesn't matter because I was still happier living my life this way than I would be doing it any other way. You hate consulting? Yeah, they don't know what they want. That's why I don't ask them what they want. I tell them what they want. That's the difference, Ravania. You have to, you go in there and you see what they've been doing and you find out, you listen to the complaints they have about whatever system they have in place and what their fantasy vision is. And then you tell them what you're going to do for them and how it's going to work for them and why it's the best solution for them. And then if you're enthusiastic about it and believe in yourself, then they will too. And then they write you that check. That's how that works. But they they be getting jiggy and coming up with all kind of fantabulous fantasies. It's like, no, let's just ratchet that back a little bit and bring you on back down to earth here, because that's just unrealistic. But of course, if you can find someone that'll do that for you, I'll gladly bow out. I'm not really too stressed about it. And then they'd be like, "Oh, no, we like your work." I'm like, "Yeah, I know you do. That's why I'm gonna run this, and you just gonna sign my check. That's all you're gonna do." That's it. So anyway, let's go back to this. Let's talk about you guys with this no. So she gives this example, right? She says, when the school asked if you could volunteer on a committee, you said yes, even though the thought of one more thing on your plate made you want to scream. When your boss asked if you could push up a deadline, you said yes, even though you knew the requirement was unreasonable. When the masseuse asked if you liked the pressure, you said yes, even though it felt like your body was breaking. For many women, no is a foreign word on the tongue. Women have been socialized into understanding that what's most important is that they be perceived as likable and agreeable. And I've said this before, these women, they want to be liked. And they think that that's the way to be accepted and to get validation and all that kind of stuff. Please. In dating, in marriage, in friendships, in their hobbies, in the way they parent their children, the way they operate in the world of paid work. This idea that what it means to be a good woman is to subsume your own needs for the sake of others around you. It's a hallmark of femininity in the United States. And this, of course, has disastrous consequences for women. It says women are more likely than men to report having a great deal of stress, according to the American Psychological Association. And almost half of all women surveyed said their stress has increased over the past 5 years compared to 4 in 10 men. Mothers tend to be more tired, more stressed, and more miserable than fathers. Professional women experience more stress, anxiety, and psychological distress than men, because women have to always not only deal with business issues, but deal with sexism and sexual harassment. So yeah, we're more stressed in our professional careers. If men left us the F alone, we would be fine. And so this lady says we ultimately don't say no because we're afraid. Like, afraid of what? We're afraid. We're afraid of conflict. We're afraid of confrontation. We're afraid of being abandoned and rejection. We have to understand, as women, we've been taught everything to get everybody else's approval, and that matters more than what we think of ourselves. Haven't I been trying to get you guys to do that? I mean, for years, I've been bamming that message into you. What do you want? What do you want? And go after that, and don't let people derail you or tell you anything. And if they try to get in your way and rain on your parade, that's when you say no. These are boundaries. We're gonna do, I'm still gonna do that seminar at some point. I don't know when, maybe in the summer, that webinar rather. I want to do a webinar on boundaries and saying no and stuff like that. But this lady's, she's got some good points here. Women frequently put their children and their partner's needs above their own. Remember the video on the channel about the burnt toast syndrome? That's a woman typically putting her other people's needs beyond hers. Where there's a piece of burnt toast, mama's making breakfast right, and she give everybody else the nice light brown toast with the jelly and jam on, and the one piece of toast that stayed in the toaster too long and got a little burnt, she's gonna eat it. I'm gonna throw that thing in the garbage. I'm gonna have the regular toast just like everybody else. And so she says that not the inability to say no sets women up for failure. Women are afraid for the same reason the women who are afraid to say no to men. Listen to this, y'all. They're afraid for the same reason. Survivors of abuse, for example, learn to say yes as a way to stay safe. There's the sense that if we say no, particularly in certain situations, that we're going to come to harm. Yeah, I know some women have said that that's why they give men their numbers and stuff when they're out in public, even though they don't really want to. They're afraid of what, if they say no, what the guy's going to do. And she says she wants you to think about saying no as a right, not a privilege. What does that mean? Well, I'll have to look at this later. Notice where you say no, where you say yes, and how each answer makes you feel. I think that's a good thing. If you say you want to say no, but you say yes, how do you feel inside? I think that's a good litmus test. And start tuning into how you feel when you succumb to someone else's desires or demands and sacrifice yourself. How do you feel? Concentrate on that. And you feel like a shit enough, at some point you're going to stop allowing that to happen because you're going to notice how rotten you feel. You cry yourself to sleep. You feel put upon. You get tension headaches, stress headaches. Your heart races. You grind your teeth at night. You can't eat, or you overeat, or you drink too much because you're trying to, put those feelings away. She says, I told my friend to say no to a baby shower she didn't want to go to, but felt obligated. Please. You send the gift through Amazon directly to her house. And they say, is this a gift? And you say, yes. You check the little box that says yes. And then it says, what do you want the gift card to say? And you write what you want it to say. And they will print it out and stick it in there. And then you be done. And you don't never have to see them people. I wish I would. Like I said, don't do anything that you don't want to do, ladies. It's going to change your life. I'm trying to tell you. The freedom. I sleep so good at night now. I sleep so well. Sometimes I don't even remember I remember sitting on the side of the bed, and then the next thing I know, I'm waking up. Because it's like I've gone to sleep as my head is headed towards the pillow. Okay, that's how at peace I am because I only do what the fuck I want to do. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. Just say no. No, I don't think I want to do that. I mean, you could say it like that to make it a little gentler. No, versus just being like, you out your mind if you think somebody doing that shit. That's another way I often say no. But you can say no more politely. You can say, well, no, I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, I don't really feel like doing that. But still saying no, but it's gentler. So you've picked the way that works best for you. The thing I find, though, is that if you do it gently and there's a kind of rough type of person, they're going to start hammering you. Well, why not? Geez, you're just so hard. You never want to do anything for me. You're just so selfish. They start hammering you. And so then you have to ratchet up your no till you finally get to the MF, you blankly blank, this and that. I said no. What part of no do you not understand? It gets to that because they don't know when to just shut up and just accept a no. So, you start off gentle and then you end up Deb style and there you go. So I just go straight to Deb style 90% of the time because I don't want to be bothered. I don't want that raggedy conversation. You had to practice hard to say no. Yeah, I would imagine that women have expressed to me how much of a struggle it is. I mean, I cannot empathize with you fully. I mean, I can understand, if I have somebody's background and, it kind of frames it for why they struggle with saying no. But in general, I just feel women need to find their voice and just not worry about other people's feelings so much. They're not going to die because you tell them no, contrary to your belief. It's not raggedy, it's raggedy. You got to put that L in there. Take that D out and put that L. It's raggedy. So, Deborrah, you've been around here long enough to know some ebonics. Come on here now. Said he and I would be happy together. What? He wants more kids. He better go take care of the ones he got. Greaseball. Unbelievable. So here's the call-in thing again for people who might want to share a thought on the show. Call in. What's going on in your life? What's happening? I mean, we got a lot of interesting questions in tonight, but nobody called. Everybody just wanted to type theirs in. That's fine, I guess. But I like it when people call because I can ask more questions. They can say something like, really, what's that mean? Well, what about this? And what about that? Well, you left this out. Well, what do you have to say about this here? So I like that part. What she's saying. Yep. And it could be all kinds of bad relationship at work, bad relationship with your family, bad relationship with a man. It just does bad friendships. I mean, because you know what? The inability to say no is directly tied in with the lack of boundaries. And when you have no boundaries, what does that usually mean? It usually means a lack of self-confidence and self-respect. Because women who have self-respect will easily and quickly say no because they don't want to feel put upon and they don't want anybody in a position where they're being used or abused. So they kind of tied hand in hand. As your self-esteem increases and your self-confidence, you will find it far easier to say no because you know that you're taking care of yourself. You're not hurting that other person. You're taking care of yourself. That's you got to reframe that. So many of you look like, well, I don't want them to be upset at me. Well, what are you going to die because they upset at you? What's the problem here? You know how many people in this world are probably upset at you at this very moment? And guess what? You living just fine. And so are they. I feel like on a daily basis, if I haven't pissed somebody off, it's not a good day for me. That means I'm slacking. I haven't been like mouthy enough. I haven't shared my thoughts enough. I haven't done something because somebody on this planet is supposed to be mad at me every day. That's how I feel. Every day I should get on somebody's nerves to the point where they'd be like, that heifer. What's she say? Oh, once he's grown. Girl, you better hide in because they want a place to live. Oh, Auntie, can I stay with you? That's what she say. Oh, that's the one I already read. Okay. Yes. There you go. Say no and you see folks look all crushed. That's how they supposed to look, though. That's how they are supposed to look. Okay, I'm scrolling down. Yeah, you just reframe stuff and don't look at it as anything bad. Oh, I always talk about him on this self-esteem books. I've mentioned him frequently. I mean, his books are pretty old now, though, but to me, they're still some of the best on the market when it comes to self-esteem. Nathaniel Brandon. All his stuff is on Amazon, I think. For some people, all you have to do is tell them no. And that they just burst into flames because they're not used to hearing it. Or any kind of boundary. Like I had this one friend, she wanted me to drive her everywhere, right? Now, if I'm going there or in the general vicinity, I don't really mind too much. You know what I mean? No big deal. Okay, well, that was before gas was $5 or $6 a gallon. Now you want me to be coming across town, pick you up and take you somewhere over here, then take you back over there, then go back to my house that's in the middle? We're not gonna do that unless you fill up my tank. And she's like, well, but that costs too much. I said, what you want from me? You want to ride in the comfort of my car versus an Uber or what standing around waiting for Uber or a taxi or something, or waiting on the bus. I mean, you can save a lot of money if you take the bus. I don't know what to tell you. But if you want me to be doing all of that driving, you're gonna fill up my tank. And that's just how it is. You don't have to pay me my time, but you're gonna fill up my tank. And so she decided she didn't want to do it. I said, okay, no skin off my back. I took off my clothes, put my pajamas back on, and put my feet up on my coffee table and reached for the remote. And there I stayed for the rest of the afternoon. So, but yeah, stuff like that, when anytime somebody wants you to do something for them or be somewhere and you don't want to be there and you say, no, I don't want to, or I'm busy, you make up a lie, whatever, they'll be mad at you. They will be mad at you. Or you just be like, my friend who made that nasty gumbo that time. She was mad at me. I never seen nobody make gumbo with clam broth and canned chicken and canned shrimp and canned crab. That was the nastiest shit I've ever eaten in my life. I mean, I didn't even really eat it. I had like one spoonful because I just, I was already there. I wanted to see what it tastes like. And I was like, wow, what is this? And she's like, that's gumbo. I'm like, this ain't gumbo. I don't know what this is, but this is not gumbo. And so then she said, well, that's the way my daddy always make it. Here's Deborah. Well, your daddy can't cook for shit. And she got so mad. But I mean, what you want from me? Well, I don't know what she did, DP, because after that, thank goodness for caller ID. I don't even know why I have a phone, because I use it maybe, I don't know, 3 times a week. Basically, it's a paperweight. I hold my stack of papers down so that when I have the door and the windows open, the papers won't blow off. But, I just really I play games on it and watch movies on it more than I do anything else. But, thank goodness for caller ID. Oh my God, my life would be so dreadful without it. So I used whoever her answer, she became a do not answer number, I don't know, 77 or something. So when, do not answer, whatever number it is pops up, I follow the instructions on the screen and I don't answer the phone. So it goes to the voicemail. A lot of people on my do not answer list. And they can't have the same names. You got to give them different numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And so I'm up to like 70 something, and I don't even know who those people are anymore. A bunch of dudes I blocked and stuff. And I follow instructions on the screen. It says do not answer, and I don't answer. So I don't know. But now she can't call me and she can't ask me for nothing, and she can't waste my time or my gas. So that's her punishment. She said, I love blocking. Yes, isn't it fun? It's almost as much fun as hanging up on somebody's face on the phone. You don't let friends drive you anywhere. I was so happy when I got my driver's license and I had my own car, because I used to hate to go places with my mother. Oh my God, she would get you somewhere. And you got somewhere to go. I'm a teenager. I have a life now. I have stuff I got to do, places I got to go, people I got to meet, trouble I need to get into. And so she would take me with her to like one of my aunt's house or somewhere. Oh my God. And I'm like, well, I got to go at such and such a time. She would ignore me like I was a piece of roach on the wall or something. And she would just sit there and just keep talking. They don't be talking about nothing. And so I would be getting so mad because it was like you feel trapped. So when I got 16 and I got my car, because I had my little job, I've been saving my little car, and I got me a driver's license. And then after that, when she wanted to go somewhere, I say, I'll meet you there. And then I would meet her there, and I would visit with my auntie or my grandma or something till I felt like it. And then I would be, okay, I have to go now. And I would get my purse and get my keys, and I would be gone. It was lovely. I also liked it because no matter what I was doing, I would like to pop in and visit my grandmother for, 15 minutes or so. I did that a lot. I used to just stop in and see her. That was harsh, Kiki. I don't know if it was harsh. It was true though. You know that was not gumbo. I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. I'm still trying to figure out what that hot mess was. It was watery and gross. And who uses canned crab and canned shrimp and canned chicken? I mean, I made some chicken nuggets for the kids one time from somebody has a couple of cans of Costco canned chicken. They're like, "Hey, what can you do with this?" And I thought about it, so I whipped up some like chicken nuggets, and I let them shape them up and put them in the breadcrumbs and stuff, and then I fried them up for them, and they loved it. So that's what I did with that. But that's not something I would buy and eat normally. Oh, you only got two? Well, I have like a business phone, and then I have my personal phone. The business phone I will answer, but my personal phone, please, that's like it will sit there and not ring for days. Oh, you're terrified of driving? Oh, that's terrible. Well, yeah, I can understand that, but I don't know. Some you got to just get behind the wheel and try it again. Otherwise, your life is gonna be, you're gonna be stuck. Yeah, it was some Costco chicken breast organ. I mean, it was like allegedly high quality. I don't know. The kids liked it, like I said. I mashed it and made it, put some egg and stuff in there and made the little patties, and they look like McDonald's. Do you believe in hypergamy? Is you're just dating? Should a woman never pay for dates? Oh, never. I wouldn't say never, but a woman should not pay for a date. See, my thing is I don't like women paying for dates, but there's other things you can do. Like, okay, so the date is you've been dating a dude for I don't know 4 or 5 times, 6 times, something. So then you invite him over and you cook him. If you cook him a meal. Okay, you've paid for all that food, right? You pay for the wine or whatever you pay for it, the beverages and stuff. You pay for that, and you put in the time and labor to shop and wash the vegetables, chop everything up, and stand over the hot stove cooking. There's a lot of labor involved in something like that. In some instances, it may even cost more than if you went out to a restaurant, depending on what you buy. But I like for women to do things like that or plan a picnic, pack a little basket and stuff and take him out somewhere. And, you guys sit down and watch the stars or, I mean, just think of interesting other things that you can do besides staying in a restaurant and paying for a date. That's what I prefer to do. And I think the dudes appreciate it more too because it's more effort. Because anybody can make a reservation and take you to some little raggedy restaurant, but somebody's going to take the time to make, some dishes and make potato salad and make some fried chicken and make sandwiches and make cupcakes and cookies or whatever. And, put all the stuff together and make it look cute with the little curtain, the blanket and the little, I mean, it's a lot of effort. And I think, a guy who understands how much work that is gonna appreciate that. If you have a guy who doesn't appreciate that, though, and all he wants you to do is make, the right to pay for a date, then that's not a good man for you. He doesn't understand emotional labor. And at a time a woman puts into something like that, she's doing that to show her affection for you. And a guy who's, he's not emotionally intelligent enough to understand that, he's not going to appreciate all that work, the time that she put in. And so he's going to poo poo it. But, and it's a good test because, I mean, if he does that, then you already know that this shit here is over. Because, he's telling you who he is right there. And if that's not, you have a sense of romance and you're trying to create a memory for you two. And he just like, well, then you just dump him. Just dump him. Question. Without giving up on them. How you gonna follow your passion if you give up? That's an oxymoron, right? I don't know. I mean, just think about how long I've been doing what I've been doing. It's metamorphosized over the years. It's gone from just typing to it started on TV. Then I went to radio, the blog and stuff, written form, then to the radio, then to TV, and then to blog talk, and then to YouTube. So I've been doing essentially the same thing, but the platform that I'm doing it on has changed dramatically, and the format that it's delivered in has changed dramatically. But that is my passion. My passion is helping women become better women. It hasn't changed in 30 years. That's still my passion. So if you have something that you give up on, then that's not your passion, which is, a passing interest, a passing hobby. But something that's your passion, you will never give up on it. It's not going to happen. You don't give up on it because that's part of who you are as a person. What do you think of a friend turn romantic interest as wanting to cook for you at home and not take you on a proper date? Well, that really wouldn't work for me. I mean, that's cute, but why are we trying to stay behind closed doors? Who are you hiding from? That would be my thing. I mean, you should at least be able to mix it up. That wouldn't work for me. I mean, that's no. Plus, it's like you want to be at the house where it's close to the mattress and shit. No, I didn't know that trick, silly rabbit. How would you handle a friend who doesn't put forth as much effort as you do into being someone to talk to about problems or when feeling down? Oh, so it's like one-sided friendship where they always been in your ear, but as soon as you need some support, you can't find them. Are they cutting you off to talk about their problems? Girl, that ain't your friend. That's not your friend. That is not your friend. Yes, word of the day is raggedy. That's right, raggedy. Lee at the end. Yeah, just dump her. Just get rid of her. Because that's a one-sided, emotionally draining relationship. Giggles. She's not giving you probably get more emotional support from us than you do from her. But I just can't. I mean, I don't see any. I've never seen any example from you that you would be like a selfish. Nothing about your comments all these years you've been around here. The way you interact with people. You just seem like a happy-go-lucky, fun, entertaining young lady. And I see no reason why somebody would treat you like that. So you got somebody who doesn't want to listen to you and provide you with the support and encouragement that you deserve to have as a quote friend, then you understand that that person is not your friend and they don't deserve you. Huh? This are giggles. I enjoyed her. She cray, but she's fun. Yeah, you just get rid of her. She's a knucklehead. See, everybody got your back. Everybody's like, yeah, let's go beat that bitch ass. We gotta go find her. Yeah, she. Mm-mm. Let me see. Let me put this up here. Make sure everybody understands. Raggedy is the word of the day. I had thought about that too, having like a word of the day or a phrase of the day, but I haven't quite. It's something I've been tossing around, so that at the end of every live stream, I leave you guys with some wisdom, something to think about. But I have a couple of ideas. I haven't really instituted it yet, but that's coming. That's coming. Especially on What the Fuck Tuesday. We got to sum that stuff, wrap that up, and put a bow around it because it's just too. They just be on one. I don't understand what these people be thinking. Yeah. Yeah, Giggles, you dump her. Now Sliver get to understand the concept. Raggedy and raggedy are two different things. If someone has morphed to the level of raggedy, they are just there's just no hope. There's no hope. There's no coming back from that. Okay. They are the epitome of ratchetness. It's the epitome. How do you deal with jealous people? Oh, that's happened, because oh my God, my history of doing this. There's people who used to actually take my content and put it on their blogs. I had to get my brother on a couple of people that stole my stuff. The only thing they did was take off my name and put theirs. It was unbelievable. This is when the internet was, like the stuff was really just getting started. This was in the mid-90s. And so people, weren't as savvy about uh copyright infringement and stuff as they are now. And so, here's my brother's attorney. So I'm sending these letters to their their hosting company and stuff, and their sites got taken down. I mean, it was like the wild wild west for a few years there. Then this girl, she was competing with me for my Ask Heartbeat site. She started the site. She's trying to compete with me with advice and all the stuff. I mean, I'm whatever you want to do. Of course, I knew she wasn't gonna last because she didn't get into it for the right reason. You can't get into this kind of situation to compete with anybody. You do it because it's something that your soul needs to do to help. It's like your work that you know that you're here to do on this planet. This is my job. This is why I was put here to do this kind of stuff. And I believe that. So I haven't lost interest in it. It drives me. It drives my decisions about what I'm going to talk to you guys about, how I'm going to approach you and everything else. That's why I've been doing this for so long. And when people get jealous, I've gotten some horrible emails. I've gotten, when I was doing the shows where the people could call in and getting some awful comments on the line. But you know what? It doesn't bother me because they have their opinion. And as a person with high levels of confidence, their opinion doesn't mean anything to me. The only person's opinions who mean something to me is mine. So, I mean, they can say, well, I think this and that. And I'm like, well, first of all, who told you could think? Did you have enough brain cells to do that? I doubt it. So, you in some kind of struggle situation trying to figure out how to think. But, the fact that you over here mouthing off shows you're not really good at it. So why don't you go on back over there and try again? So, that's my attitude. That's like, whatever. It don't bother me that people have a controverting opinion. We've had people that was in the chat rooms right here on YouTube that had a cow. Well, you wrong. He did this and that and blah, blah, blah. And they go, that's why I caution you guys not to go on tangent, to only focus on what's in the letter. Because once you start going down woulda, coulda, shoulda, maybe land, you're not talking about the letter anymore. You running tapes in your head from your own personal experiences. That's what you're basing your answer on, not what the person said, not what they wrote. You off on some fantasy about some man in the letter that she only vaguely mentioned, and you got off the topic of her, which is why she wrote, and you all talking about him and what he probably did and should and most likely and in the past, I bet you, and you all full of stuff like that. And I caution you to stop doing that. Especially if you do that in your relationships, you just never gonna have a successful relationship. Never. That's called baggage. And you need to jump on somebody's couch and work on that. Yeah, I don't, jealous people, I'm like, whatever. Do what you need to do. Whatever makes you feel good. Which word means beyond wrecked and repair? Raggedy. Which is worse? Raggedy. Raggedy is worse. Raggedy is here. Raggedy is like the epitome of ratchetness. If you raggedy, you are beyond repair. You foobar. Okay, there's no hope for you. So there you go. Now, of course, that's just my definition, but it's my word, so whatever. It's really like the other way around. You go raggedy. The next step of raggedy is raggedy. It's kind of reversed from what you put. So anybody else got another question? If you don't have another question, I'm going to dip out and go and get me some food because my stomach is growling. Growling. What did I eat for lunch? I didn't even eat any breakfast. I had a piece of pizza. Yeah, no wonder I'm starving. I haven't had any food today. Are there levels of dustiness too? Absolutely. But we'll have to talk about that another time. I had to have I have a video on where I define dusty men because people are like, well, Deb, what is dusty? You know what I mean? What does that even mean? And I talked about it in that video. If you search, just do a channel search for dusty, a dusty definition of dust, something like that, and it should come up. Because I was, people kept asking me what it meant. And so I had to put together definition. And this was years ago, put together a definition and put it up so people would understand. And there's definitely levels of dusty, because we have like dusty, dust mites, dust mongers, whirlwinds of dust, tornadoes of dust. I mean, people have come up with all kind of different conjugations of it, but yeah, I definitely think there's definite levels because sometimes dudes are only slightly dusty. It's a little bit, brush just a little bit of dust, or they do one dusty thing. But mm-mm. Yes, child, all of that. I love calling out dusties. You're not gonna call your little husband raggedy tomorrow. Cause that's mean to call your husband raggedy. Unless you guys are just joking around and he does something just trifling. And then you say, that was real raggedy what you just did, then he'll probably fall out laughing. But generally, if I'm calling somebody raggedy, it's not a compliment. Trust me. Oh, you already know? Well then, girl, just write into What the Fuck Tuesday. It's anonymous. And nobody know it's you. So, you go on debsterism.com and you'll see the little submission form and you can put it there. Submit your letter. But I'm not going to just tell you to leave him. I just always tell women why they should. What's going on. I break it down from what's going on and how it's in their best interest to leave that person or get therapy with that person or whatever it is. I tell you the reason. I don't just say, oh, just leave them. I'm going to tell you what's going on and why it's not going to get no better and how it's hurting you. And then I will tell you to leave them. So that's what you do. Ratchet is different to me. See, raggedy is more about ratchet is about a person. Raggedy is about a behavior or action. So it's like, you're talking about somebody who's ratchet. It's just everything that they do is ratchet. Their personality is ratchet. Their living arrangements is ratchet. Their kids are ratchet. Their men choices of men is ratchet. Their hobbies and interests are ratchet. They watch ratchet TV. They're just a ratchet person. To me, that's defines like more of a person, a personality, and someone's whole existence. Whereas raggedy is kind of it. When I use it, it pertains to particular behavior, particular actions that this person has taken. Whereas, ratchet is your whole life. And raggedy is what you just did. So a ratchet person can do some raggedy shit now. Don't get it twisted. Okay? Child, you got to keep these straight. Just like, keep all these definitions straight. So y'all be using the terms, you be using them right. But yeah, somebody who's ratchet, they just their whole existence is just all kinds of messed up. You mean they just make stupid choices, they live foul, they talk foul, their friends are foul, their family is foul, everything about them and their choices in life are just ridiculous, and they just ratchet. Just ratchet. So yeah. But to me, ratchet people can do raggedy things. It's just ratchet and raggedy. So whereas, like if y'all just did something, it'd probably just be a little bit raggedy. But, we just gonna laugh about it and we're gonna tease you. But, absolutely. And most of the time people won't even know that cuss them out talking about them real bad because they'll be like, what's that? I don't know what that means. What are you saying? And then you can just laugh and then come back and tell us about it. All right. So I will see you all on Tuesday because I have a lot of stuff this weekend. I'm going to try to do some more of those shorts, from my long video. I'll try to put up some more of those. That takes hours of my time. So I won't have time to do a video, like a recording video. I'll just be editing clips from, some pre-recorded stuff I already did and trying to put those up. But so that's how I'm going to spend this weekend. And I hope you all have a better time than me. Than what I'm going to be doing, and have fun. And I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Okay. And if you want to send in your advice letter, it's not too late. Go to debsterism.com and you'll see a tab that says get advice. Click it and fill out the form and send it in. Because Candace is going to be doing the column this weekend. Okay. She usually does them on Sundays and Mondays. So you have up until then to get your letter in. All right. Ta ta.